Roll dice, be nice, and stay tuned. This is the Live to Die podcast.
So, Jane and James, you guys literally got back from traveling this morning.
Hours ago.
And it made me sit here and think
really
about
bad.
all the wild and awful traveling situations I've ever been in. And I was curious, what are you guys' worst, and you can't say today, what are you guys' worst traveling experiences?
This time that I got 2 hours of sleep and had to catch a flight at 5 a.m. and then record a podcast.
I said
all
not
day.
today.
Actually, this trip was
Mine
amazing.
wins. I'm just going to let you know.
Oh, God.
I don't know. I've got a pretty good one.
I've got a pretty good one
I'm
too.
interested to see.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
So
I
who's
wanna
going to
hear
ante
yours.
up first in bad travel poker?
Right. We bought tickets to go to Hawaii
Okay.
during COVID because we're like, well, tickets are really low. Maybe if this blows over, we'll go.
Should be like
We
2
did
months.
go.
Sure.
We did go. It's right when everything kind of opened back up. On the way to Hawaii, a man on our plane died.
What? God. Okay, that's pretty good. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Okay, you do win. I don't think the rest of us should go.
Yeah, no. He,
To Hawaii?
Respect to that guy for dying and having
yeah, now he's part of our banter.
Somewhere over the
He had
Pacific.
the worst traveling experience.
It was 2 hours to go still.
Damn.
He was people thought he was sleeping. He was leaning really hard into the aisle. He's a big dude, probably maybe a little bit smaller than me, but a big guy. And eventually his wife realized that he wasn't just sleeping and asked for a doctor, for someone to help. And so I was weirdly, my father-in-law had a seat at the front of the plane. I had a seat with my wife and kids. He wanted to switch with me at some point. So I was way in the front. This was happening in the back with everyone else. So
That's
my
where people die
father-in-law,
on the airplane,
Yeah, that's
isn't
true.
it?
They don't die in the front.
so my father-in-law and brother-in-law helped get him out of his seat,
Oh no.
took him to the back of the plane,
Dude, what?
and tried to help him out. And he didn't make it.
Whoa.
Oh.
And
Go to
they,
the brewery instead of recording the game.
Yes.
can I
That's
make this
really
even sadder? They wanted to put him back in his seat next
Yeah.
to his family.
Yeah. Because they don't really have storage. They don't really have a place to put somebody.
And my brother-in-law and father-in-law were like, no, we're not putting him next to his
That
wife
is
and child.
wild.
Good call.
It was terrible.
Where
You guys ever seen Broad
Where did
City?
Landing gear.
In the back of they just laid him in the back of the plane until we got there. And then police and paramedics came in and took him out.
Wow.
Oh.
This is
After
an episode
everyone
of Broad
had-
City. There's a guy in the
Oh, really?
middle of
Oh,
it
yeah.
that dies, and they watch his iPad because they think he's just sleeping, and later on they're being questioned because they
Yeah.
were sitting next to a dead man on the plane.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow.
And I kind of avoided the whole thing because I switched seats with my father-in-law. And then I figured out later exactly everything that had happened.
That is crazy.
Were
Some
your
kids-
children
yeah.
traumatized?
That's
No,
a
I don't-
foundational memory
my
right there.
kids-
Yeah, no kidding.
Don't talk about it as much as we have talked about it.
There's probably a reason for that.
Maybe I should ask him.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't want to go on vacation anymore.
Yeah, no, we don't want to fly anywhere anymore. So yeah, can you beat that?
Mine was from Hawaii too, and it was just we used to travel to Hawaii for work at this job I got before I moved here, and we always took the red eye because it's the easiest way to shock yourself into the different time zone.
Yeah.
But on the way home, we also took the red eye to do the same thing, and I sat between this couple who were making weird sexual innuendos with each other using
But you sat
foods.
between them?
Yes.
Oh no.
And I'll just give it one girl. The girl was going to town on this sucker, while eyeballing her boyfriend, and I was like, "Can I just not be here?
Do you think they
Let's
do
just go."
that intentionally?
Yes.
They intentionally
Oh,
buy
yes.
seats on opposite ends?
Yes.
Wow.
And I couldn't sleep the whole time, and I was just awake and kind of the awake where tears are coming out.
Yeah.
And then I had to go the next morning to go-kart with people. There was a bunch of people that were go-karting, and
Why are you looking at me when you say
because I
go-karting?
feel bad for you right now, having to do something after flying.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You're like,
it
this
is
is
terrible.
so much
Do you have a
fun.
go-kart story?
I'm having so much
I do
fun.
love to go-kart, and I didn't know if my reputation precedes me there.
There is a whole thing because for like,
There's a whole beef between me and James's dad about go-karting.
I would smash you in go-karts.
You probably would. See, the thing is
Challenge.
that, and I've actually told James's dad this in years since, but like, you know, the man likes to talk smack, and so do I. And so, so one time, like, go-karting came up, and he was like, "Oh, I would like crush you in go-karting," and I was like, "No, you wouldn't. Like, I would crush you in go-karting." And he was like, "Then we're gonna go go-karting." I have been go-karting like one time ever, and I actually like don't even like driving a normal car. And so I was like, but for years, and I was like, yeah, I'm super good at go-karting. Like, let's do it. And for years, James's dad was like, okay, like we're going to do a big go-karting thing. And like, I'm so excited. And this is going to be like such a death match go-kart. And then eventually I had to be like, Steve, listen, I'm not that excited about go-karting. I just like to talk shit.
Where did you guys end up going?
We haven't gone yet.
Oh, you guys should go to Unser.
Okay.
there's a, you know, in-laws, well, my sister and like her family are out in Vegas, and we often end up a lot there, and there's a lot of good karting in Vegas. All right, Gene, what's your travel story?
Well, now it doesn't feel that bad comparatively.
I know when I started telling my Hawaii story, I was like, I mean,
we should have gone
no one
first.
died. You should have just hooked up with the couple.
Yeah, I shouldn't have gone first.
Yeah.
My worst one ended up, I mean, it really wasn't that bad, but it was probably like the biggest, like, oh, I did not expect this to be my day kind of thing. But I was flying back to the States from London, and it was after like living in London. And so I had all of my possessions with me. So I had a lot of bags, and it was like a pain to get them all checked and stuff like that. And so I was taking the Icelandic Air plane. Airline, whatever. I'm so tired. And
everybody just leaned into their mic and nodded or shook their head or both.
Yes.
Like,
so the thing,
I've heard this story.
Yeah. The thing about Iceland Air is that all of their flights to and from Europe, at least at the time, stop in Iceland. And it's like kind of cool because you can like do a layover there that lasts up to like 2 days. So you can see a little bit of Iceland. It's like kind of like a increasing their tourism kind of thing. If you mean to do a layover there, and I did not. I was supposed to catch a flight to JFK, and I had like 45 minutes to make it from one plane to the other. So I got there in Iceland, and like my family was going to pick me up on the other side and stuff like that. And I was actually trying to get back to surprise my sister. She didn't know I was like coming back. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be really fun. Like I'm going to surprise her, whatever. And I land in Iceland, and they're like, hey guys, you're not going anywhere today or anytime soon. Air traffic control is on strike at this airport.
Oh, no.
Solidarity forever.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. I'll just go to a different airport. And they were like, this is the airport. Yeah. There are no other airports.
Welcome to Iceland.
Welcome to Iceland. And I was like, huh. But the problem was that like at the time I had a debit card that was really strict about like travel restrictions and stuff. And I hadn't told them that I was going to Iceland, and it was a Friday night in the States. And so I was like, my bank was like closed, or maybe it was Saturday night, but my bank was closed and I had no money. And so I was like, well, I don't know how I'm going to get a hotel or food or like how long I'm going to be here for. So I ended up, meeting these two older Canadian women named Alice and Pam, and
very Canadian names.
Yes, and actually the airline like very nicely did like put us up in a hotel.
Nice.
But I was like sadly walking into the hotel, and they were like, "Do you have anyone to go to dinner with?" And I was like, "No," and I also don't have any money, so I can't go with you. And they were like, "We'll buy you dinner. Like we'll buy you breakfast." They like took care of me for the whole weekend that I was like in Iceland. Super sweet. They were really upset because they weren't going to make it back to Canada in time for their scrapbook meeting.
Amazing.
And yeah, then I eventually, it's like, it was kind of like a kerfuffle, but at the same time telling this story now, like in comparison, I'm like, really, I just got to go to Iceland and I met 2 nice ladies and then I went home
and got free dinner.
and got free dinner.
Shout out to Pam and Alice.
So it wasn't really that bad, actually, all things considered. But at the time I was like, what am I going to do with no money in Iceland?
And then Pam died on the flight.
Pam is fine.
No.
I have been in
You
other
put
countries.
some respect on Pam's name.
I've been in other countries where they're, even though I was active duty Navy and was banking at Navy Federal Credit Union, they would like turn my card off when I went to other countries. And it's like, what do you think it is that I do?
Yeah.
Like, I'm in other countries. Like, don't lock my account out. Now I'm fucked. But yeah, I hate when that happens.
I will say that I don't know if this was a joke, but I overheard someone at the airport when we got there be like talking to an airport employee like, oh, so we can't take any flights because your air traffic control went on strike? And they were like, yeah. And they were like, then how did we get here? And they were like, I don't know.
Honestly, the pilot just winged it.
Yeah. And we were like, okay, like, let us know when we're good to leave.
We didn't know if you were going to land or not.
I don't have anything that disastrous.
Well, no one does.
Yeah,
After
we can't
Jared.
top that shit. I think the best one that I have, and I want to preface this because some members of my family do listen to this podcast occasionally. I think it was the most disastrous, but it's not like no one died. It also was just really fun. So we were a big road trip and camp family. Like that's how we took growing up. That's how we took trips. We'd road trip and stay at like campgrounds. I'm sure there's a lot of reasons. I think budget was probably part of it. It's also just a fun way to do it. And like if you have younger kids like my sister and I were, it's, you know, you can get out and stop at playgrounds and stuff. There was one trip, I think my dad was deployed. And so it was like my mom, my sister, and I driving from Louisiana to visit a lot of family in Florida. And I think we met up with a friend. We were staying at campgrounds along the way. And it was that time of year where it was just dumping rain. And we had like our campgrounds all picked out. This is back, you know, in the print out your directions sort of days. So we had all of our pages of printed directions. We had the map atlases, but you know, God forbid we have to like make up a new one to figure that out. I remember it was like the second or third day of a 3-day trip, and we were staying at this campground, and it was pouring rain. Like we barely, I think my mom just like, you know, did the amazing parent thing of like, Jim and Abby, stay in the car. Went out there and got soaked setting up the tent somehow in the rain, and we got in there. And I remember the next morning, it had been raining all night. It was still raining in the morning. And we ended up going into, it was like a nice campground. They had like a shower building. And so all of us, my mom, my sister and I, her friend and her friend's son that was like meeting up with us, we ended up just like spending the morning in the shower building to try to get out of the rain. And we were making instant oatmeal with the hot water from the shower heads, just sitting on the floors of the communal showers eating breakfast.
That's just adorable.
It was
unsanitary.
one of my
Great
favorite
American
trips.
road trip.
Look, I loved it. And like, not to get too far up, but like a lot of what I love about playing role-playing games started in things like that. Cause we'd play games in the car. We were a big game family, like road games, like, you know, pick out names, look for the next letter sort of stuff. We were also a big audiobook family. And that along with one of my grandparents who I've talked about before on the cast, like it's the idea of talking through stories or like telling stories in a way that really pairs with role-playing is one of the things I really grew up loving. Is like on road trips, we'd pick an audiobook as a family and listen through. Or if it was my dad, he'd just put on either like a Tom Clancy or something and it just like listen in the background. We're like, I don't know what's going on, but I think someone's upset and, you know.
Well, speaking of infiltration.
Yeah, speaking of... Yeah, you are. I mean, I'm going to say you're not exactly pulling off the to go Tom Clancy. This is not like the Splinter Cell of infiltrations. Well, I guess it's the way I horribly play Splinter Cell, because I think where we ended last episode was you were right in the middle of fighting what started as 3 giant centipedes and one Mitflit gremlin who I think was about to perform a breath attack, right?
Yes, of course.
Naturally.
The classic gremlin breath attack.
I think he was just getting ready to get into his Type 5.
It's Type 5.
He's going to start giving us a comedy show.
I want to dance with somebody.
So what's the deal with adventurers?
What's the deal with allied food?
Well, we managed to bring it back to bad trips. But this isn't a bad trip yet. It's only going to get worse. Then you can really claim this. So let's jump right to that Mitflit's turn. And I think I'm gonna let it spend an entire action inhaling and screaming out in Undercommon, which if I remember correctly, Ari, you're the only one that speaks Undercommon.
Yes.
And so I think you'll hear it just yell out, "Help! Intruders!
Crap. So we are going to fight 100 of these.
Perhaps he's not talking about us. I don't know.
Could be anybody.
I believe he is surrendering.
It's the centipede.
Does anyone know what he's saying?
He's calling for backup.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
And the Mitflit will then do two things. And I think I mentioned this a lot in the last episode that my notes document was getting so big that it was crashing half the time I opened it. 230 pages for
That's like a novel, bro.
15 episodes.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like a lot of it's just like me doing additional write-throughs on the stuff in the adventure. But I was getting tired of that, so I created a whole new document specific to this dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to jump down here. Yeah, isn't it great? So here we are. And so it's going to use one action to yell, because I don't know that there's specifically an action for that, but I feel like there should be some equivalency to like demoralize or something for it to like, because I know you can use an actually, here's what I'm going to call. You know what?
There's a rule for that.
This is one thing that I found out courtesy of, I want to say it was Rules Clerk Rory. In like most of those niche rules, I'm like, oh shit, there is a rule for that. Thanks, Rory. That you can, and I think we've all done some variation in different role-playing games. Like when there's an invisible enemy and someone knows where that enemy is, being like, 15 feet to the left of that, 10 feet. In second edition, you can spend an action worth of communicating to detail that, which I like because you can speak as a free action, but giving someone detailed instructions should be an action. So while I don't need to, I think I am going to call it an action for this gremlin to essentially do that.
Okay.
Isn't it basically an aid? Like
Kind of, but it's sort of mechanically and philosophically very similar. And so I think he's going to essentially use an action to sort of say, like, there are people here, not just generically help, but to be specific that, like, there are enemies here coming into the room.
Right.
So that will be one action. I think from his vantage point behind that large dung pile, he is then also just going to whip a dart right at Wart's head. And
I have on my sheet that I have my shield up. I believe that's right.
Yeah, probably. Like it's my fault for ending an episode mid-fight, so I feel like I'll give you some leeway.
I'm pretty sure that this is correct.
Yeah, we should also note that Trent did get a pre-recording patch.
Which means I have 4 right now.
Wow.
Jesus, are you at 4?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because I think you spent like 3 the
thought I
other
had
session
2.
getting
I may
Jane.
have.
Oh, you
roll
gave
better.
Jane
You
2.
gave, you gave Jane 2.
I
Maybe
think
I'm just
two.
down at 1 now.
I think you have 2.
I think you have 2 also.
2 because of the additional one I
Yeah.
gave you pre-recording.
I think I have 7.
Which, by the way, Trent got a patch for making fun of me. So
Hey, that's
I
not
hate
true.
that patch.
That's not true.
He got a patch for
I hate
predicting
that.
your
I
behavior.
made a prediction.
I have 4 drinks today.
I am
All
Trent.
booze.
It's just 4 different kinds of vodka.
Shane is hammered.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. They're all the exact same type. They're just
Listen,
all
I'm
vodka.
just saying, if you know, you know. When you need a water, a coffee, a fun drink, and a fruity drink, that's what mornings
Wait,
are
is there a
like.
difference between a fun drink and a 40 drink?
A fruity drink.
40 drink is a fun drink.
40 drink is a fun drink.
40 drink.
Just get ready for slips like that and more as I GM hopped up on caffeine and a few hours of sleep. You know what? But I believe that's why people come to our podcast.
That's right.
They come
Stop
here for the comedy.
Delaying. Telling me what the roll is.
It's a 19.
A 19?
A 19 to hit with the dart.
Miss.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
Whoa.
Shields
Fighters.
Ha-ha.
up.
Yeah,
Champions.
Haha.
champions.
Haha.
Because look, people have said, they've given us the feedback that like, hey, this is like listening to a table play, and everyone has had at least one session where half the table is either hungover or super tired.
Oh, yeah.
So this is our
100%.
dedication to that.
Or on their way to being drunk.
Usually
Fair.
the whole group's in some rotation of that. All right, so whips a dart over the top of the dung pile at your head.
Bing off the shield.
Nice. And it's then going to spend its third action running to the east. And you can see,
Run away.
let's see. So it's 20 feet of dim light, or 20 feet of light, and then 20 more feet of dim light.
That one gets me every time.
Trent doing
That
voice
voice.
acting.
Is he 20,
Yeah.
20 or
25 feet from behind his dung pile. And you can just see that the end of that room, really, I think Ari's going to see this best because you can have low light. Everyone will see it,
Have
but you'll
low
see
light
it
vision.
clearly. That right at the edge of the light, you can see where the room turns into a tunnel that begins sort of corkscrewing down deeper into the ground. And what I'll say is that tunnel where you see it happening now, you can pick it out. You're in sort of some chambers that are a little bit bigger, but you have noticed that off of the other room, the sort of like inventor's room, and off of this room, those tunnels are clearly carved out for small size creatures. So a lot of those are going to start being about 5 feet tall with a lot of vines growing in.
Here comes squeezing.
Yep.
Not full squeezing. You'll treat basically everything as difficult terrain. You'll get a -1 on all attacks made in those areas. And you'll also pick up the clumsy condition.
Ooh,
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll have a lot of that. We'll get to that later. In these first rooms, though, I have ruled that they're slightly larger. Part of that was because I forgot them in previous sessions, and that's now canon.
You don't have to admit that.
Thanks. Okay. So now we're gonna go to giant. No, you're still delaying, Lucky. If you want to jump in here now, you can.
Nope, not yet.
All right. We're gonna go to giant centipede number 2, which is the centipede I believe with the standee right now, because it started with standee 1, then it died, so it got to move on. So it's their turn now, and that little...
This is the one to the south of me, you're saying?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess we should kind of restart the route, restart a little bit. You guys are in sort of a bigger cave room with a couple of side chambers to it. A bunch of these dung pillars where it's clearly sort of a centipede stable, if you will, an underground section. And so you all basically are still in the mouth of the tunnel that has worked its way in. You're all sort of holding the beachhead of that tunnel into the room. And I say you all, it's Ari and Arthur with Lucky's little pet buddy, Spike. And
Take the hell away from me.
which I gotta get a good miniature for you at some point.
Oh, we'll get one eventually.
If nothing else, we'll use the giant centipede standee when we're done killing them
exactly.
for Spike. And then Nikolai in the far back. So,
Hoping no one answers that help call and comes running
So
up behind me.
currently that little dog thing is Spike.
yes, right now we're
Okay.
using a
It's like a little
small...
wolf.
Yeah, I think it's an old...
I like that better than the creepy centipede.
Yeah, but Spike's cool. Anyway, this
He's so
centipede is going to go for you, Trent Arthur.
Uh-huh.
Mandible attack as it kind of rears up and comes in. Ooh, that's going to be a nice roll. That's a 25 to hit.
That's a hit.
Dang.
So let's start with a little bit of damage. I think you have already, though, used your reaction on your shield.
Yeah, I think that's right.
All right, this is going to be a whopping 1 point of damage.
Okay.
Now,
I already rolled it.
oh, what's your
Is
fortitude
it
save?
fortitude?
Yes.
25.
You're fucking fine.
Yeah.
God damn.
So fine.
All right, here we go.
So fine.
So fine.
So fine.
And we're going to go for attack number. That's probably going to be a miss. How's a 5 to hit, Trent?
That's going to be a critical miss.
Okay, we're going to go for broke then. And, natural 20.
That's a critical miss.
It still might... I don't know if it'll be a hit. So let's start with this.
Yeah.
Is a 16 a hit?
That's a miss.
So the natural 20 will upgrade it to just a normal
To
hit.
a hit. Yeah.
Okay.
So not a crit. So I don't get a die on that. I don't get a card on that, but I do get to throw one of these dice for damage. Another 1 point of damage.
Okay.
And Trent, you know what it means it's time for?
Another fort save.
Another fortitude
I
save.
feel like that's the bad part.
Oh, I
Patch
think
that
I'm going to
baby,
use a
patch that.
patch to redo that.
Dun-dun-dun.
That was a
You're
2 on the
welcome.
die.
Ooh.
Not a good time for that.
You know, I
Much better.
Oh, good.
That's a 22.
yeah, you're fine. All right, Ari, it's your turn.
Okay, Ari is going to haul ass to the little mite and try to get
Now,
it.
You have a centipede immediately
right
in
in
front
front
of
of
you.
Can I run around it?
Yeah, there's room to the north. So you have to sort of duck between the wall and one of those dung piles. That'll be difficult terrain to go
Okay.
through that sort of squeezing area.
I think I can still do it in 2.
Do you have panache right now? Or have you spent it? I don't think you've gained at this fight at all. I don't think you've tripped a centipede.
Did you trip someone in the other room though?
Yes, but then she spent
I
it
think I
immediately.
spent it right away, so I
It also
do
doesn't
not.
carry over between fights.
That's one
Okay.
move.
So one
Okay.
move will get you around the dung pile behind the centipede, and then a second move will get you to the gremlin.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Jason.
No problem.
And then I am going to try to
I feel like I want to get you one of those little
I want
military
one too.
pusher
I
things.
know. We
I
should
looked
get
at
one.
him. on the internet, but they're like ginormous. I need to find a small one.
I think I have some from an old board game. We should pull those out.
I'm gonna
The war table.
Yes, I think that's actually the name of the game.
I'm gonna try to grapple the gremlin.
Oh, okay. Going to grapple the gremlin.
Do it. Grabbing his little hairs on his head.
Grabbing the little hairs coming out of the little gremlin pimples.
Wow. Oh,
Ew, that's
leave me alone.
I know you went for the gremlin so you can get a body count, but that's all right. I'm gonna let you do it.
no. I'm just gonna try to get him before he retreats. Also, I didn't want to get stabbed by a freaking centipede.
None of us do.
This one's hands.
That's a 16.
A 16 is going to be a hit.
Wow.
Nice. Okay, so he is grappled. I get panache, and that's it.
Do you get panache for grappling too? Not
I
just
do.
tripping? All
I
right.
get panache for grappling, shoving, or tripping
bullying.
because I'm a gymnast
Nice.
and a bully.
Lucky, you are still delaying.
Honestly, that
A
is
drunk nice bully.
when somebody does like a role playing game about going to high school. That's what that rule will be. If you're a bully, you just get like extra points for shoving and tripping other people.
Is your finisher like putting someone in a locker?
Yeah.
I'll undelay.
All right.
Undelay? Is that the
Undelay.
word?
And lay.
Yes.
Riba,
All right.
riba.
Spike is going to move up
Oh,
5
okay.
feet.
Use a command action. Bring Spike up right there behind Arthur.
And he's going to attack
All
the
right.
centipede.
Now, Spike is small, right?
Medium.
We're not in. Spike's medium.
Mhm.
Oh shit!
He's a big old
Well,
caterpillar.
I hate this.
We're not in the small cavern anyway. So there will be cover for going around this corner around Arthur.
Arthur's like, oh no, I confused Spike for a gremlin and stabbed him.
I don't know that Arthur would love this, but because technically Arthur is friendly, you do have the movement if you want to run Spike through Arthur's legs out the other side, so you're not attacking around a corner.
Good God, I hate that.
Okay.
It would expose
Slides under
Spike a
your
little
legs.
more.
Can we get him?
Yeah.
Let's see.
One of them touched my penis.
I think we can get him. Let's get him in flanking.
Why?
Oh, so all the way down,
Is it
all the way
like
down to
this?
south.
So he's
Yeah.
going to be flanking.
All right. So Spike
I
will come
resign.
out, go around south,
That's
and
25
flank
exactly.
the
So that
standee.
works. And he's going to make a spine attack.
Oh, Spike spine.
Probably doesn't hit. That's a.
In my mind, Spike is illustrated in the style of like one of those 90s cartoons, like Gargoyles or something, or Street Sharks.
Man, I love
Cool.
that movies.
I like
too.
that.
Or show.
I've actually been rewatching Gargoyles.
What? Really?
Yeah.
What's it on?
Does it hold up?
Disney Plus.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Say no more.
It's terrible,
It
which
is-
makes
yeah.
it great.
Yeah.
Does a 12 hit?
Because of flanking, a 12 just misses. Sorry.
Dang.
Could
Okay.
Biff have ridden Spike?
Yes,
Yeah.
the size is appropriate.
Way to die, Biff.
Yeah, that's true.
Boo.
Biffed it.
Really biffed it.
Wow.
Oh, biffed it is a new term.
How did we not come up with that sooner?
It's literally the
offensive.
title
Yeah,
for
it's
the
the title of
episode.
the episode. Yeah.
I don't listen to this podcast.
It's not true.
Wow.
I will say I miss a lot of the titles.
I think I hit with the next attack,
Okay.
which is a 20.
That's definitely a hit. Not a crit, but definitely a hit.
Hell yeah.
Spike does. God damn
Come
it.
on.
5 damage.
I mean, okay, it's one hit basically.
I rolled. That's minimum damage, so
Okay. Well,
I'm
you
sad
hit it.
about it. That's it. That's my turn.
Oh, right, because your companion, you can take all of their actions through them. I'm really interested in the summoner. I think it's a super
Yeah.
interesting
Mhm.
flex.
It's not like a minion, like,
Traditionally,
right. You don't have to do like, it gets like 2 actions for your command
Yeah.
or whatever. They just take actions with you.
that's awesome.
That's
Well,
cool.
Arthur, you're now set up and flanking the southern one,
Well, I think I'll take a big old swing at it.
so it is off guard. I do have some notes to myself about like, don't get this new remastered rule wrong, because I'm
Yeah.
still figuring a few things out. You'll like one of them quite a bit, Jason.
Oh.
I think you'll be mad that it wasn't in play for the last season.
Probably. Yeah.
That is an 18.
That's a hit for sure. You're swinging with your +1 mace, right?
I am. Not my +1 mace.
This is the
but-
House Germandi mace, I
yeah.
believe.
That is a 6 damage.
Yeah, it's dead. You just
Nice.
crush the carapace.
Aha.
Is that the one to the south?
That's the standy one. You want to swap it out for the non-standy one? Thanks,
I
Jason.
think I'll just swing at the other one then too.
All right. Now, this one you're not flanking.
Yeah. I'm next to it. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you are? Ooh, you know what? Go back, roll a flat check for me because Ari had just moved.
That's true.
You are now in the dim light.
That is a natural 1. So I will use my other patch.
Oh,
Okay, I was about to toss you mine.
all right. Look at me remembering the lighting rules. I'm so proud of
That
myself.
is a pass. That's an 18.
Okay, so that's a hit, and you're seeing fine in the low light.
So I will swing at the other.
I do love your halo coming into play so much. I think that's really cool.
That is a 17.
To hit or on damage?
To hit.
Oh, that's definitely a hit.
Flat check.
Yep.
10.
Yep, you're good.
And
DC 5 on these.
That is 6 damage.
All right, it's one hit.
Raise the shield.
Okay. Bam! He kind of cracks some of its carapace. It shrieks back, rears up, and just going to go straight in at you now that it's its turn. That's not a great roll. I'm going to have to keep it though because them's the rules. 9 to hit.
That's a critical miss.
Natural 1.
Critical. Oh.
God damn it. I even had the labels on my desk ready to bring for your buttons, and I forgot them.
Yeah, I'm bad
Next
at that.
Next time.
Next time.
That's what I said a year ago.
Well, now I know they exist, so maybe I'll remind you.
Yeah, it's a
not,
team
probably
effort.
not though.
All right, Trent.
Jessica, remind me to bring them next
Let
time.
me roll a
No,
D4.
I guess got it. We're going to top deck this shit.
okay.
Fuck. I told you it's sharp. You take 1d6 persistent bleed damage.
Oh,
nice.
does.
Cool.
So there's a chance it might just kill itself at the end of the turn here.
He cut himself on the dagger sticking out of my shield.
That's right. I forgot there's a
Oh, yeah.
dagger stuck in your shield.
That's funny.
Canonically, you do have a dagger in your shield.
yeah.
All right. It's going to follow up. That was its second attack, I think. So third attack, a 13 is not going to hit.
That's a critical miss.
No,
No, it's not. It's a miss.
It will now take 4 bleed damage and die.
Hey.
Perfect.
Badass.
Just as we planned.
I did that.
And now Spike can
What an
be that standy. All right.
Yay.
It's Nikolai's turn.
Don't attack Spike. Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of line of sight do I have to this?
So you have line of sight. It's next to Ari, so it's fully lit. It has what I referred to as shit cover, so
Yep.
the +1 to AC for shooting over Ari's shoulder.
Okay,
You got this.
Yeah,
I'm going to shoot at it.
and you're technically out of volley range too. I love how what is arguably going to be a more difficult shot over 3 people's shoulders to hit a smaller target.
Is
11
easier.
miss.
Yep.
I'll shoot again.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen? Natural
Oh.
1 and you hit Ari in the back of the head.
How's 23?
That's a fucking hit.
Dang.
Yeah.
Not just a hit, a fucking hit.
Fucking it.
4.
4 points
Nice.
of damage right into the mid-flit.
And I will cast shield on myself as my last action.
Does your shield look like anything special, or is it just sort of like a round shield?
No, I think, and we even kind of talked about this, it is like wooden and viney, and it almost looks like it, as it appears, it like weaves itself into a shield.
I fucking love that. All right, it's the mid-flit's turn now. It's grabbed by you,
I was
Ari.
hoping to shoot it out of your hands because that would have been awesome.
How dare you?
Yeah.
She just like holds it up. And,
Okay.
And take your kill.
Can I get an assist?
So
Oh, yeah.
I think it is going to.
speaking of kills,
It is going to stab you because it does have revengeful anger in play here. So it's going to try to stab you, Jane. And that's not a horrible roll. A 17 to hit?
Miss.
God damn it. All right.
Just holding it at arm's length. And it's like,
Okay. It'll be at second map because it is going to try to escape now. So this will be against your athletics DC.
okie dokie. Which is just 10 plus my
Pretty good.
athletic.
Yeah. 20.
Pass.
Nice. So it slips out of your grasp
aha!
and proceeds to run 25 feet away from you.
God.
Just generically yelling.
Down the hole.
into
Yeah.
the hole. I was
Okay.
just going to make it
I mean, it's
give
down
us
the
the
stairs.
ring and then peace out of here.
Ari,
It's my precious.
why did you let him go?
Because you shot him out of my hand.
Well, I thought this was some sort of teamwork thing we were doing.
All right. Ari, it's your turn. It's 25. The midflit is 25 feet away, screaming. This midflit does have a name.
Going to turn around and be
Named
like,
character.
he's gone. We should leave.
I look at Lucky.
You need a ring, don't you?
And she's going to look at Arthur.
Yes.
We do. We need the ring.
Does Arthur have any facial hair?
He has a handlebar mustache.
Hell yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's great.
So good.
Is it blonde?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
God. Okay,
It
Ari's just gonna
shines actually
go down
in the halo light. It like shines.
I'm picturing you like Kenneth Branagh in those like Murder on the Orient Express movies and the Hercule
Like a
Poirot.
younger one?
Yeah.
Do you remember in Rick and Morty where that was like the Mad Max episode? And the guy took his helmet off and he had like a blonde mustache and looked horrible. That's I imagine it's that, but a handlebar.
Yeah.
All right, Ari's running down the tunnel.
All right, so first action, you'll catch up to the midflit. You're deep into it. Because of the corkscrew fashion, it doesn't mean everyone else is completely without light. There is light kind of coming out of the top of this descending tunnel.
So y'all better hurry up.
Ari, you're a little far ahead there.
Hurry up.
So 25 feet, you make it to the midflit. And what do you do now that you're next to it? It has its little gnashy teeth.
Hideous, ugly, tall human.
All right, I'm gonna grapple this asshole midflit again.
Okay. Here we go. Grapple check.
Can prison shank that dude.
Little grab check.
13.
13. Grappling's against fortitude DC, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a success.
Nice.
It's not against an athletics DC?
No.
Okay.
It's just because otherwise, like some people just have no athletics checks. They put it against saves because everyone at least has some bonus there.
And I'm gonna be like, we're looking for a ring. If you give it to us, we'll let you go.
An undercommon?
Yeah.
We don't have a ring.
I don't believe you.
Okay, you've got one action left.
Stab
Okay.
with a kukri.
So isn't it more of a chop?
Slice? I don't know. That's a 21 to hit.
That's definitely a hit.
Let's get it.
All right. I don't think I'm even going to use the panache, though. Well,
Look, you have to declare it before you roll. So
Yeah.
you do get your just generic bonus to attacks damage from having panache. Isn't it like +2 to damage for just having it?
correct.
So you've got that going for you.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the finisher thing, though, because I feel like it's going to die anyway.
Hopefully.
9
hope so.
points of damage.
Yeah, it's dead.
Okay.
And as its last breath leaves its eyes, it just looks up at you.
It breathes out of its eyes?
Ari's like, ugh.
Some kind of lizard.
Do you not? Ever since I broke my nose, I can blow air out of my left eye.
That's true. If I blow my nose too hard, it comes out my eye.
So sorry, as its last breath leaves, as the light leaves its eyes, it just looks up at you.
I hope you stub your toe.
Man, what a curse.
So rude.
Dim's fighting words.
That's a hex.
I feel kind of bad.
They're
I
a
wouldn't
5e
want that
warlock.
hex. Killing a bunch of goblins and little people. Yeah, like
Little people.
little characters. I feel bad sometimes too. Because it's like one swing. Blech.
Yeah, and they're kind of like I said, they're kind of cute, even though they're terrible.
And I was just looking at my notes. I was wrong. It's not difficult terrain in these tunnels. It is just -1 circumstance penalty on attack rolls and clumsy 1 when you are now in these tighter tunnels. As a reminder, clumsy 1 is a status penalty equal to the clumsy value on dexterity-based checks and DCs, including AC, reflex, saves, ranged attacks, and skill checks using acrobatics, stealth, and thievery.
So it's a dig on AC too, huh?
Yep, because it's one of those things worth noting that AC is technically a form of DC.
Yeah.
AC is DC.
That's
For
a
those of
band.
you who are about to roll, we salute you. All
You
right.
should get a patch for that.
What? I should? Me?
That whole line you just gave
That
me.
whole bit you just did.
I've seen it somewhere before, so I can't take too much
okay.
credit.
I
And
don't
also, I
have to
don't know.
admit that either.
Yeah.
James is very honest.
Caffeine is truth serum for you.
You're not wrong.
James doesn't drink coffee, and so it's really not that much of a stretch to say caffeine is like a truth serum / like it just has extreme effects on James, who's not exposed to it very often.
240
You have to
milligrams
be very
in.
careful.
He's also like
Yeah.
bouncing his leg as he's talking to
yeah,
us.
he's really
He's
shaky
about
right
to shake
now.
like a chihuahua in a second.
Okay, what's next? Where do y'all want to go? Well, all of you are in a pitch black room. Already, you're down. You're part of the way down this sort of corkscrew into.
Don't go too far.
Well, I'm gonna check this little Mitflit's body to see if it has the ring.
So you look through its meager possessions, and all it has is a small pouch with now I think 7 darts left, and it's the short sword that it was trying to stab you with.
Okay.
Some like rags, basically some sort of grody little tunnel rags.
Tunnel rats.
Tunnel rags.
Tunnel rags.
So weird. She's gonna be like, come this way.
Where are you? We can't see
I'm
anything.
in the tunnel. I hate
Can I
this place.
Cast detect magic in this.
Sure,
heat
you
area.
cast. Now remember, first, 2E detect magic. It's just, is there magic within 30 feet? You, boom, no magic.
Okay.
Once you rule out the magic that
Yeah.
you expect to be there, yada, yada, yada,
Yeah.
no magic.
Is there a way to harvest venom out of these
Yeah.
things?
Yes, 100%.
Would Lucky know how to do that? Or could he figure it out?
Is it
I
craft?
would say craft, right?
I could
don't
allow,
know.
so I'm going to use essentially the Pathfinder like degrees of relativity for checks. I think the most appropriate check would be if you have a very specific lore, like a poison lore, 100 or venom lore, 100% that.
Nope.
I think the next would be an unspecific lore, which I'd call it crafting. I think would be sort of specific.
Okay.
I don't know. I might skip that. I think if you have an unspecific lore, that'd be the next CC. Then I think I would put survival, nature, or craft
Or
on the same.
thievery?
Not forgetting venom, but craft, survival, or nature.
I'll
Could
use
extract
craft.
we
that.
assist with a different skill than he uses.
If it's one of those three I just listed,
Nature.
yes. Now, of course, doing this in pitch black dark will be much more difficult.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
wait for Ari. If she comes back.
Let's just light a torch.
She might go solo
Yeah, you
this
could
thing.
light a torch as
I'm
someone has a
gonna
free
light
hint.
I'm gonna
Ari
light a
goes
torch.
down the tunnel to fight all the rest of the mid-flights. No, I'll go back up.
Okay. Do you have? I'm sure you have a
Yeah, I have
torch.
torches.
So take a torch out, light it. Now, keep in mind that's going to be hard to use
Bless
your longbow.
Well, I'm not bringing it with me. This is just
Oh.
going to get dropped in.
And you always can. A torch will continue burning when dropped, so
Yeah.
you can have it. You know what we'll do here actually is take this blue little pawn base, and if you ever want to chuck the torch or drop it, you can use that to represent where
Okay.
the torch is.
Cool.
That way, we can all keep an eye on it.
Oh, I can see.
Yeah, you get it out. Now, do you think you're a flint and tinder kind of person, or you have something special?
No, he's a flint and tinder kind of person. Old school. He pulls out a big lighter.
So you get that lit. Ari, they're not coming. What are you doing?
I go back up.
Okay, you go back up and you
I'm
see.
going to go back up. I'm going to walk into the room, and then I'm going to turn my halo off and be like, and then turn it back on.
Don't you ever get too far ahead of me.
Ari's going to punch Arthur.
You know what? Give me an attack roll.
In,
All right.
in the armor? Like you're going to just...
Yeah, and can I use my confident finisher?
I think you have left combat time. Left the encounter mode.
Let's see.
unless they roll initiative after this.
It's going to be a miss anyway.
Oh, I want to know what the roll
It's
is.
12.
Total.
That's a mess.
Yeah. Ding, hits the armor. All right, so yeah, I'm going to say because
It like stings, but she's not going to admit it.
Wait,
She goes over in the corner.
clumsy here. But yeah, it's still a mess, not a critical.
The drinks from this morning numb the pain.
Yeah, right.
so I'm gonna kind of go back to a little bit of 1E D&D and the sort of the Pathfinder. I'm gonna say it's a 10-minute exploration activity to work on harvesting from these creatures.
Okay.
And yeah, I prefer to do the assist roll first. So Jason, if you want to try to assist, are you a helpful human? You probably went for the like extra feet
Yeah.
human.
Can I assist too?
Yeah,
With survival?
I'll allow multiple assists on this.
Teamwork, guys.
Thinking
And
about
we'll
this,
keep the highest basically.
I think that this is actually probably extremely difficult for Ari because Biff, like, towards the end of his life was like hero worshiping Ari and was like, that was amazing all the time. And now
Yeah, yeah.
Arthur's like, stay close to me, even though I'm kind of a weird robot.
Don't get too far ahead. Not asking.
He's like kind of
Telling
a weird misogynist. Like,
I love fish on a stick.
she's like, how are these two related?
So what are the assist numbers?
15.
And so no assist,
11.
no crit fails though.
All right. I'm rolling a crafting.
All right, and I'm just going to give you. We're going to go for I got the DC on this.
23.
That's a crit success.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
So what I'm going to say is I'm going to round it together. I'm going to say because you kind of beat the shit out of him with a mace. I'm going to say that out of the 3 bodies, you're able to get essentially 2 components necessary. I mean, it's just it's just venom. I don't think it'll last super long.
Okay.
You'll know this because of your crit success. I'm going to say it's good for about 5 days, but 2 uses of giant centipede venom,
Nice.
Cool.
which I believe is just one of the things you can find pretty easily.
Do you remember when we harvested all that spider venom and I want to say it was the one with Juggernaut and everybody, but I remember I had like 3 vials of spider venom that we took.
Yeah.
Was that Curse of Plaguestone or?
It might have been Plaguestone or
No, I think it was the ooze one. What's
the
the
ooze one.
Oh, the Slithering. Also written by
think it was
Ron
the
Lundeen, who wrote Night of the Grey Death.
Yeah.
We should finish that one day.
Someday.
You know, you and Matt keep saying that, but I'm down for it.
Yeah.
That'd be really fun.
I still got Graph floating around
I still
somewhere.
got Jug.
I actually need to talk to Matt because I have an idea. So,
Looking at you, Matt.
looking at you. All right. So you're able to harvest a couple bit. Takes about 10 minutes. Is anyone else doing anything? Well, you were both assisting. So Ari, are you doing anything during those 10 minutes?
I guess I'll just kind of look around the room, see if there's anything interesting in here. Kind of explore.
Yeah. What do you think? What lens are you looking at this room through? Like, name a skill. I don't know if I'm going to call for a check, but I'm curious how you're evaluating it based on what training or background.
I think that she's actually going to be looking kind of like through a thievery lens if there's anything she can swipe, anything like valuable or interesting.
So I think looking through a thievery lens, what you're seeing is that this is a really utilitarian space. It's clearly meant for like the keeping and feeding and rearing of these centipedes. You do notice that there is like the right signs and implements of an odd amount of very like aggressive control and teaching. Like you can see like whips and other tools of like punishment for the animals right next to like odd little sort of facsimiles of like little toys that they've made them out of parts of other people's bodies.
Oh.
Like a weird amount of doting love and punishment at the same time treated on these centipedes.
Creepy.
It's peculiar.
Are they like made to fight each other?
You don't get that impression, but there's not a lot of clues in this room one way or another to say if that would or wouldn't happen. But there isn't like little bodies of dead centipedes with like other centipede bites into them.
Okay.
They mostly were eating out of that giant jug of like stew with little bits of kobold in them.
Gross.
That's
Forgot about
fucking
that.
hardcore.
Yeah.
How would Biff have felt about this arena?
I think he would have been extremely uncomfortable and probably shitting his pants a little bit. Like seeing
He wore
bodies
pants?
of oh yeah, of course.
Nice.
He's
not just pooing it.
he was a refined kobold.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not just pooing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like a horse.
He's pooing it in his pants.
But what's next? So you essentially know there's sort of two ways that both go down. There is the small like workshop over to the west that you started off in. It had sort of a path that went down a little bit, and then there's this sort of corkscrewing down to the east that already went like halfway down. What's next for our little group of adventurers?
Should we check?
There was another room upstairs, right?
No, there was 2 rooms upstairs, the workshop and the room you're in.
So that's it.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
But there was a place in the workshop that we haven't been.
Yeah, a west downward tunnel. Basically, there's
it's
2
down
downward
as well.
tunnels.
I
There's
think
east
we-
downward and west downward.
We kind of saw that it went down a ways, so we were like, well, let's go check out the other room.
Okay. Well, do we want to check it out now? It could just loop around.
Yeah, it probably loops, is
Okay.
my guess.
So do you want to go down the west or down the east? Or do you want to get out of here? Always an option.
Let's continue down the dung room.
Okay.
It's where you belong.
Poo side. I'm going to ignore that.
It was a sick burn.
All right. So you head your way down the eastern hall, and it's a corkscrew pattern that descends deeper. And this is where you really are all getting into that tighter quarters, right? 5-foot high ceiling, roots growing out of there. So it's not even like a clean 5 feet. It's like 5 feet with a foot or so of like big, thick, heavy roots bursting through into the tunnels that they've dug there.
Does it specify what type of terrain this is?
It is underground.
Okay.
If that's a thing for you, it's definitely underground. And let's reestablish just real quick marching order. Who's in front? Is it Arthur again?
Oh, yeah.
Arthur, and then Ari, and then Lucky, and then Nikolai again.
Mm-hmm.
Spike in front of me.
Spike in front of you. All right. And
If Ari sees that Arthur is like gonna step on like a hole or
Mhm.
something, or if there's like rough ground, she'll turn her halo off momentarily.
Just tie a rope to him.
okay, so I'm going to
Hope he trips.
I'm going to interpret that as a rather odd form of searching. like keeping an eye out for traps, but not to stop someone from getting hurt.
But rather to just troll as much as possible.
He has shield up, by the way.
I figured.
Yeah.
That's what you've done
Wait,
before.
can we retcon something before we leave the room?
I mean, yes,
It's easy.
maybe.
At some point, if we have time, I want to see if there's tracks, a number of tracks leading in either direction.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a
can I tell the
survival check.
footpath? Yeah.
What? That's a secret check, though. What's your bonus?
10.
10. You're finding all sorts of tracks going all sorts of, every which direction.
That's a throwback.
That's an homage. That's what that is. Or derivative if you don't like it.
Yeah.
So you head down, and what you see is a pretty good-sized room opening up here in front of you. Your halo is spilling light into this room, Jane, and you can see haphazard piles of broken beds, chairs, wagon wheels, an assortment of worn and tattered and all sorts of like dingy objects scattered about the room and pushed into small piles, clearly pilfered from all sorts of like big folk areas. And it's just all over a room that has a nice, like pungent smell of mildew emanating right to the door. You can see a crookedly propped up row of bookcases just completely buckling against one of the far walls, shelf filled with bits of bone, feathers, dried centipede legs. There's old window frames, cracked and splintered, dangling from the wall like they're hung there like pieces of art. And what you're able to pick out is behind a lot of these like set up pieces of refuse are a whole bunch of mitflits.
Oh,
with
God.
our hands full of darts, all just waiting, watching the tunnel that you've just come down. Well, I think that means it's time for... God, I hope this is the right button. Yeah.
If only we had some labels.
Look, we're beyond... Our relationship with these drops are beyond labels.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
Trent's dancing.
I got a 79.
It's so much... 79, yeah.
Cool.
It's so cool to hear this.
God.
Yeah, he's actually a level 30 character. He's using some home rule for levels above 20. What do you actually have, Nico?
23.
Okay.
Same.
Ooh, so remember, you two will
can
get
go
to
first.
decide.
Nikolai's not a go first kind of dude.
You're not a gopher kind of person?
Not a gopher kind of guy.
Just like Bill Murray's character in Groundhog...
Kill all the gophers.
Not Groundhog Day.
I was going to say that is a
Caddyshack.
completely
Caddyshack.
different animal.
That would have been a different movie if he was trying to kill the groundhog. A better movie, maybe even.
Yeah, maybe.
Each day he just keeps replaying the assassination of the Groundhog.
I have some
It's a
friends.
great movie.
Oh, God.
It's like that Happy Death Day, only he's killing the groundhog.
Oh, I was thinking Edge of Tomorrow. Just watching the Groundhog.
I have some friends who host a Groundhog Day party every year, and they
It's the
watch
same
that
party.
movie. Yeah. And they do the same party every year, and they watch that movie, and they eat sausage pizza because it's like groundhog.
Because it's Chuck.
That's
gross.
awesome.
Ha, ha, ha.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Ari, what's
Never had
your
groundhog
initiative?
before.
It's 14.
14. And Lucky, what'd you pull? Did you go stealth? Like
Yeah,
you've been doing?
Stealth 26.
Okay.
Wow, guys.
Do you want to take this stat sheet out from directly in front of me? I have no integrity.
For what it's worth, it doesn't have any of these creatures, but yes. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, I had the book on the table for drawing the room. Fine. All right, so really quickly, let me go ahead and put these 6 mitflits in the initiative tracker. So
They are now called Mitt Bitches.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Mid bitches.
All right, Lucky, you'll get to go first by a long shot.
Delay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Now, out of curiosity, do all rogues have the, like, if you act before someone else acts, they're flat-footed to you?
I think so, yeah.
That you're just like, not for you?
Yeah, there's reasons.
Okay. Like, I trust you.
The mastermind rogue is dope.
Yes.
Yeah, your ability to make people, like, to have them count as flat-footed you for, like, whole turns without
Yeah.
having to maintain stealth or flanking, like, your ability to range drop damage is dope.
That's fun.
And I will say, because there's some chatter online about, like, it's so hard to pull off a recall knowledge. It's so much easier with lores.
Yeah, lures do help.
And especially in a game like this where, like, you kind of know a lot of the environments or a lot of the types of creatures. And as we talked about, rogues get training at, like, every damn level.
Yep.
So I know I say keep an eye out for lures. All right, Lucky is in the delay column. That makes it Nikolai and Arthur's shared turn. The two of you have to act together as though you were in a 3-legged race.
A tandem.
Yes.
I think I'm going to go
Nikolai
first.
starts tying his leg to
Yeah.
Arthur's.
Wait, what are you doing?
It's a classic Erastil practice.
Is this difficult terrain?
So no, at this point you are taking a -1 on attacks plus the clumsy condition, which may compound if you're doing a ranged attack, for example.
Yeah. So
Because you're hunched over. You're basically like crouch walking behind your shield, like you've got a riot shield in a Call of Duty game.
Right.
This whole room is that way.
Yeah, basically the entire rest of this
Okay.
dungeon
Got it.
that you're literally crawling through a dungeon.
I think Arthur is going to drop the mace. He is going to enter.
What the fuck, man? They gave that to you.
It's wonderful, but I have an idea. He's going to enter Everstand Stance.
Nice.
Oh, you've got a stance, bro?
He has a stance.
Oh,
This
stance,
comes
bro.
from the Knights of Lastfall. It's an uncommon feat, but of course he gains it from his training with the
Yeah.
Knights. He can brace his shield with both hands, enhancing its potential for both offense and defense.
Ooh.
So it really is the Call of Duty riot shield
Yes. It increases the weapon damage die of the shield's boss, or spikes, and increases the shield's hardness by 2.
That's so
when
fucking
using
cool.
The shield
That
block.
is really cool.
Is yours
Yeah.
considered boss since you have a dagger sticking
I believe so.
sheathed inside of it?
He's mostly just using it, so he's just going to stand in the middle of all this is the idea.
Okay.
So
And-
one action
okay.
to drop into this stance, free action to drop the mace, second action to drop into stance.
Right, and he's going to walk up to Red here.
Yeah, one of the 6 Mitflit
Right.
red.
And he's going to... Can he use the shield to just...
Bash.
Hit?
Yeah, that's what the shield
bash.
boss is basically. And you can
Yep.
inscribe, it's 2 things worth noting. I've gotten some jokes from listeners that this season I need to layer them together like a club DJ drop with the amount that we've been using that. But you can attack with it. If your shield's ever destroyed, the boss or the spikes essentially remain intact. You can replace and repair the wooden part or whatever else the shield's made out of. You can also inscribe weapon runes on the boss of a shield.
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yep. Which is kind of a cool thing.
That's going to be a 10.
A 10 is going to be a miss because these are all behind cover and have taken cover behind cover.
Yep.
So actually what I will say is that is difficult terrain to step onto that pile of junk. Although they wouldn't have cover from you because you are on top of the cover. I think that would deny them the cover.
Literally
Fair
has
enough.
a high ground.
Oh my God.
Don't try it.
We were just all talking about that video on TikTok of the guy doing Owen Wilson as Obi-Wan.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go watch both parts.
Wow. You know, like I've got the high ground. You know, I can't do voices. Fuck it. Yeah,
What's
so you
up,
walk up.
Darth?
What's up, Darth? You walk up there, you slam the shield down, it kind of hides underneath one of these wagon wheels. You rocked that gremlin like a wagon wheel. And that's going to be your turn. Nikolai, it's you.
So all these guys have cover, and I'm kind of around the turn a little bit.
Yeah, and keep in mind distance. So, like for some context, Arthur is in dim light there at the end because Ari has 20 feet of bright, then an additional 20 of dim light from her halo,
Okay.
which is super fucking cool.
Indeed.
How long does it have to wait before you can cast guidance on an individual again?
That's a minute. You're good.
Yeah, a minute. That's what I thought. So I'm gonna do guidance on Lucky.
You know what? I was
Yay.
thinking about this. Pass this down. Use this as a guidance token, basically.
Oh, fun.
So put that somewhere that you'll see it on your turn, Jared, and you remember that coin. You've got guidance.
Lovely.
1 second. Go ahead and talk amongst
I've
yourself.
got all
looking
these
up a spell.
in the same way that we use a lot of old like patches for hero points. I've got a bunch of old like challenge coins from like my dad or other things, which like are really really great for putting on top of your dice. Because like, why do I? Oh, it's from guidance. That's what this is for.
Yeah.
But we were using them on the maps too to denote like where you're walking.
Yeah, that
So-
was cool on the hex.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll keep that up. We also do, I did say, if you're ever running Kingmaker, they do have like a specialized GM screen for Kingmaker that has the hexes of the world map on the front of
Yeah,
it
that's cool.
that we can dry erase right on, which I'm pretty stoked for.
Is that distance that I am accurate?
It's 45.
It's 45. Can I cast days from here?
What's the range on days?
60.
Then hell
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't know if like them being
Yeah, no,
covered or whatever has any.
no, it doesn't. And
bearing
this is
on
one of, this is where I think you've just made a big brain play. Is that a save on their part versus a roll on yours?
So will save.
So that means it doesn't matter that they have concealment from low light.
Yeah.
You can pick them out and drop days on them.
So I'm going to drop days on...
You gonna go for red one?
Yeah, I'll go with this guy.
Yeah, the red one. Just because we've already didn't. Wait, which one
Oh,
did you
that's
point
pink.
at?
That was pink.
That's pink.
that's pink.
Okay. All right. Jane is
Actually, no, I'll do
Green, yeah.
green.
All right, green
Green.
one.
I
Thank
can't
you
see
all.
these colors from here. So
I mean,
It's
for what it's
tough.
worth, I saw it looking at them like, oh, these all look the same. All right, that's fine. That's on green. Look, if you go ahead and just kill it, then it's not an issue.
let's see. So saving will DC.
Wheel DC. All right, here we go. Gonna roll the All Worlds Tavern die. Came from friend of the cast, Zach. Ooh, that's a really, really good roll, though. 23.
And that goes against like my spell DC,
Yeah,
right?
spell
Because
DC.
it doesn't have anything in there. That's going to pass.
Yeah. All right, does anything happen on a pass for days?
Let me look it up.
I don't know if
For
that's
some reason I did not learn this very simple spell.
Hey, on the bright side, though, you do have the tabs you ordered the last recording session. I can
That's
see them
true.
on your
Yep.
book.
Mhm.
Let's see, a critical success, a success.
Just a success.
Success's target is deafened for 1 round.
From days?
Mob.
Sorry, deafness.
They are
So,
so
yeah.
days.
Yeah, so only if they,
Only on a failure.
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, if you critically fail the save, you're also stunned 1.
That's
What
dope
is
as
it?
fuck.
Wait, hold on. What happened to this guy?
Nothing.
Nothing. Not a
So
damn
you
thing.
cast days. You have one action
Shakes it
left.
off.
What do you want to do,
Days is
Nikolai?
2.
So you have one action left?
I cast bless or
Oh,
guidance. So guidance and then bless or
You're
days.
good. All right. Well, it's Red's turn right beneath Trent, right beneath Arthur, from your feet. Sword at the ready.
Can I
Oh, yeah.
what's the word?
Unready.
Underlay.
Underlay. Underlay,
Yes.
underlay.
You're going to re-enter the initiative order after Nikolai.
Okay, I'm gonna take a shot at Brown.
At Brown. Okay. I've got Brown right here on my
And
tracker.
Guidance is great because it kind of negates the clumsy for my attack.
Yes, but not the -1 as well. So you're just at
Oh
a
yeah,
total
that's true.
-1.
That's true. Okay, so we're doing a total -1.
Yep, and this will be in dim light, so you have a 5% or a DC 5 flat check because of the
Alright.
lighting situation.
So this is an 18 to hit,
That's definitely a hit.
a 10, a flat check.
It's going to be good.
I'm assuming I was hidden.
Yes, you definitely were.
That's 9 points of damage.
Damn.
Ooh, it's 1 hit. It just sort of squeals and screams. Blood's gurgling up out of its mouth a little bit.
I will take another shot.
All right. It will not be off guard to this one.
Nope, that's a 6 total.
6 total, that's a miss. Phew, tunk. You got 1 action left.
What's it gonna be? Can I break line of sight somehow?
If you retreat back up the corkscrew a little bit, yeah.
Let's do that.
So you retreat back up. If you just want to move yourself in the order on the map, that way we just kind of generally know where you are. So you
Does
pop
Spike
back.
follow you around automatically?
No.
He can stay within 100 feet.
Oh, wow.
All right. It's now Mitflit Red's turn, which I believe is right in front of Arthur.
It is.
Looking for a big roll here. Short sword in one hand, darts in the other. Cover behind this. Ooh, that's a good roll. That's an 18 to hit.
That's a
And you're clumsy 1.
miss.
Even with clumsy 1?
Even with clumsy 1.
God damn it.
Oh, wait. Hang on.
Oh.
I don't have my shield up.
Yeah. You're clumsy 1.
Your stance
Ooh, that
doesn't
might be
give
it.
you.
It's a hit.
Yeah.
Tune
Stance
in
doesn't
next
let you-
week to find out how much damage you take.
Boo.
No, yay.
The Live to Die podcast is a production of Live to Die Gaming. Follow us on social media at Live to Die Pod. Leave a review and tune in next week for more. If you like the amazing background audio and music, all that credit goes to Syrinscape. Make sure you check them out at Syrinscape.com.